The Three Hills Sports Park in Folkestone has officially opened to become a centre of excellence for sport. The construction for the new venue has been funded by the Roger De Haan Charitable Trust, and at the official opening, Academy FM met up with the man himself, along with some other special guests, to find out exactly what they thought of the new building. In front of the large window that overlooks the grounds, the trustee for the Cheriton Road Sports Ground Trust, Paul Major, told the guests about the history of sport at the site and how they began the change from the old facilities that were no longer suitable.
You may or may not know, Folkestone Cricket Club was established something like 150 years ago, and hockey has been played in Folkestone and predominantly on this site for nearly 100 years. We've hosted international touring sides for cricket from places like Australia and South Africa. We've had first-class county cricket. We've had international hockey festivals that have been some of the biggest and best regarded in the country. But one of the things that happened against the background of all of that was about 8 years ago, we were sitting here on a Cheriton Road sports ground facility that was well past its best. It was becoming unsustainable, and to a degree, frankly, it was unsuitable and becoming unsafe. Something had to change. That change actually started with two sports clubs, two separate groups of people coming together and deciding to collaborate to try and build a better future. And one of the really interesting things about sport is we think about sport teaching us to compete, but actually, just as valuably, sport teaches us to collaborate. And that's what started 8 years ago with that group of men and women who came together to start this conversation and this project. The next thing that they did was they went and had a chat with Roger. That was really interesting because two things happened there. Roger said, "This is fantastic." And then the second thing he said is, "Your vision isn't big enough." What we have now is a building, fast forward 6 years, that's not just home to Folkestone Cricket Club, Folkestone Optimists Hockey Club, but is also home to Folkestone Town Netball Club. It's now also home to Folkestone Running Club, who've journeyed with us through this process and are an increasingly large part of the sports community on site. And just recently, Folkestone Dynamos Junior Football Club joined us and decided to call Three Hills Sports Park home. But as well as that, Three Hills Sports Park exists to be a centre of excellence for sport and to be open and available to anybody who wants to participate in sport.
Academy FM's Mel and Becky were also at the event, and there they caught up with the Minister for Sport, Olympic Legacy and Tourism, MP Hugh Robertson, to find out exactly who will benefit from the centre.
Minister, how do you think that this sports centre will impact the community?
Hugely is the short answer to that. The really clever thing about this particular sports centre is that it's brought together a number of different clubs, the hockey club, the cricket club, the netball club, the running club, and provided a fantastic state-of-the-art centre for all those sports and for people who just want to come and use the multi-use games area or anything else like that. So for anybody who's interested in sport, this is going to make a very big difference.
During the opening speech, Paul Major was grateful to be able to say thank you to the trust that funded the project.
One of the things that I get to do, and it's a real privilege for me, is to be able to stand here and thank some of the people who've been involved in this project. And I'm actually going to start that process by thanking the Roger De Haan Charitable Trust. And what's critical for me, and really, really interesting, is they funded it willingly and enthusiastically, and actually continually challenged us as a trust to think bigger.
My trust funded the building completely, and we were very pleased to do that because we think Folkestone needs first-class sports facilities. I grew up here. I played hockey at the hockey club here when I was a kid, as my brother did, and the facilities had got terribly run down. And if something wasn't done, there was the prospect of hockey just dying out in the place. So I was very pleased to fund hockey. And the cricket club is very successful and well run. And the cricket club and hockey club have come together in this collaboration. It's all very successful.
Roger De Haan explaining why his trust was happy to fund the project and why it was needed. Sports Minister Hugh Robertson then praised the role of the local authorities.
Thank you too to Shepway District Council. It's not always the case that you see local authorities getting alongside philanthropists and the private sector to work together and produce a result as spectacular as this. But the benefits of it, as I've said, are going to be here for people living in this part of the world for many years to come.
Paul Major summed up the importance of the volunteers who have been involved in the project.
One of the things that I really have to mention is all of the work that's gone in from the volunteers into this project. For us, they've actually been our real game makers, as important to us as the game makers were to the Olympics last year. And so I just want to really thank all of those people. You know who you are. Without you, this project would not have been possible.
During the opening, Mel and Becky spoke to a number of people involved in the building and running of the new facilities. The chairman of the Folkestone Optimist Hockey Club, Steve Shaw, told the girls what the ground was like before the development and how the new changes will benefit the club.
Well, I took over as chairman about 6 years ago, and you can see the pavilion from here, the old pavilion. It was dilapidated, the wiring gone, and unsustainable. Worse still for us, the pitch was unplayable for first team standards, so we were playing our first 11 hockey in Ashford. So we were in a pretty ropey place before this facility came along.
How will it benefit your club?
Well, it's already benefiting our club. We've been playing on these pitches for a season now, so just playing on quality surface has already increased the standard with the club. This year we've increased in size. We've got a 7th 11 team, so 7 men's teams, and now a 4th ladies team as well. The junior size has built up to 200 plus kids involved, 200 plus under 18s. We're struggling to keep up with it at the moment, but enjoying every moment.
Mel and Becky also had some questions for Emma Santa, the new sports park manager.
What facilities does this new centre have?
We have a lot of facilities here. We've got the indoor sports hall, which can be used for indoor cricket, netball, hockey, any sort of classes. And we've got the ATP pitches and the mugger and the netball pitches, so the outdoor pitches for hockey, netball, football, etc.
Who are they for?
Anybody can use the facilities. We have schools coming in and using them for classes. We have clubs come in and use them. We've obviously got clubs based here, the hockey club, the netball club, running club, and the cricket club. So they obviously use all the facilities here, but it's for anyone to use.
The hockey chairman added what he thought of the facilities.
Well, you can see the facilities here, they're just superb, and we're already the usage of the sports hall, for example. We're seeing disability sports in there. Indoor cricket league has started up in there. There's football teams using the facilities that previously couldn't find a home. Outside, you're seeing Dynamos have made the place their home, and they are a fantastic group of kids involved with that. The usage has far surpassed our wildest dreams already, and it's only going to build from here.
The girls asked some of the guests and dignitaries for their opinion of the new building, starting with our local MP, Damian Collins.
What do you think of the building?
Well, the building is stunning, absolutely stunning, and I think people will love coming here and spending time here, and it's a great place to watch sport.
What do you think of the building?
Oh, it's fantastic. We came in here first about 3 weeks ago, and I'm completely open-mouthed with it. We looked out of the window to our right here, watching football floodlit, and it was like watching a 3D TV. And then you realise it actually was 3D because it's real people. The facilities are just fantastic, and people are already enjoying it. They can come in for a coffee and watch sport in a nice warm environment, watching their kids, rather than the long-suffering parents that have to stand out there with the woolly hats on.
What do you think of the building?
It's lovely, and what's very clever about it, walking round, is that you can build stunningly beautiful sports facilities, and this is a very beautiful sports facility, but that doesn't always mean that they're easy to run or to make pay, and that is very important with a community facility. The clever thing about the design of this building is that it's going to be easy to run, easy to make pay, and it's going to provide a great base for these sports well into the future.
Hi, we're Mel and Becky. We're at the new Sports Centre in Folkestone, and we're with the architect of the building, Guy Holloway. How does the design of this centre benefit its function?
This is about bringing two clubs, predominantly two clubs together. So that's cricket and hockey, and we're creating a centre of excellence for cricket and hockey. And therefore, what we've done is to create an oval-shaped building that sits between the first cricket pitch and the first hockey pitch. And from the clubhouse, you can look over a balcony over the cricket, or you can look the other way over hockey. We're really uniting these two clubs together. So the concept of bringing these two clubs together has also come together in the building. So it's really merging concept and building together. And if you can merge those two together successfully, then you create a successful building.
I caught up with the manager for Discover Folkestone Hythe and Romney Marsh, Chris Kirkham, to discuss the impact of sport on local tourism. According to Kent County Council, over £300 million has been boosted into the Kent economy as a legacy from the Olympics and Paralympics last year. Is it true that sport can really make that much difference to tourism?
Absolutely. If you view sport as any other large-scale event that takes place within the county, that will undoubtedly have an effect on people visiting. So where those people come perhaps for a particular sporting event, some of them will come back for day trips and perhaps a longer visit. So certainly any large-scale event, be it sporting or otherwise, will certainly have a beneficial effect on tourism.
Can a smaller facility have that same impact on tourism at a local level?
Oh, certainly, because as they were saying, with the involvement of the Folkestone Cricket Club, the Optimists Hockey Club, the Folkestone Running Club, when they're having events here, playing away teams and things, people will come for that. And also, the members of those sports clubs will undoubtedly invite their family and friends to visit the area if they're involved. If they were to get the Kent Hockey Festival going here again, or the Kent Cricket Festival, which used to be enormous events that took place in Folkestone a number of years ago, that would certainly again have a beneficial effect on local tourism. And tourism, of course, is one of the leading drivers of economic regeneration.
And while economic regeneration is one thing on the agenda in the minds of some of those associated with Three Hills, it is part of a wider sports strategy benefiting young people. Mel and Becky asked MP Damian Collins and found out from Roger De Haan about the future for sport in Folkestone.
Do you think more can be done to encourage young people to be more involved in sports?
Yeah, I think so, and I think this will really help. What we need to do is I think, get more coordination between sporting schools and sporting clubs, and encourage more young people to do more sport outside of their lessons, outside of school time.
Is this part of a bigger plan for sport for young people in Folkestone?
It is. We're encouraging schools and clubs, sports clubs, to come together to collaborate, sharing resources and coaching, to enable schools to provide a much better sports programme for their kids.
Do you have a particular favourite sport that you'd like to see come and watch here maybe?
2 of my 8 kids are keen hockey players, so I'm looking forward to them playing here one day.
The 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games have had a lasting impact on Kent. The Minister explained how this legacy is relevant to the Three Hills Sports Park.
If you ever have to deal with the Mayor of London, he has a fabulous habit of picking a word in his speech that nobody else understands. And his word for 2 weeks ago, when we were doing an Olympic Legacy project, was catachresis. Catachresis is a process by which a word that means one thing eventually ends up meaning something else. And he applied it to Olympic Legacy because it was one of these wonderful concepts that started off meaning one thing and has been stretched and pulled all over the place. If it does, however, mean one thing, it is about taking sport to young people and listening to the ambitions that you have here. This is exactly what Olympic Legacy should mean.